Okay, example 13 part 2. So next branch is the splashes branch. So here we kind of want to isolate only the points that are in the group ground hit GRP. So we're gonna do the opposite of this branch. We're gonna do the same kind of blast node. We're gonna click delete non-selected, which means we're keeping these. Then we want to remove points based on the age. We only want them to stick around for a little bit when they hit the ground. So kind of like this. And to do that, we kind of have to write some vex here. We write if at age is greater than 1.41, remove point yourself pt num. This will basically remove points once your age over 1.41. Simple as that. And we're gonna use these points to do the mission, but we kind of wanted to replicate them. So we're gonna use a point replicate to create 100 points per point. And we're gonna do the shape to really small, so they're kind of confined to the same position as the original point, but there are now 100 points here instead of 1. We're gonna do some velocities on those, just like this. Some turbulent noises and stuff like this. I've gone over how to create velocities before, but it's kind of the same here. So we're gonna do this position. We're gonna do some noise thing here, some more noisy things here. The vector values here, we're gonna put them together to a vector to float or float to vector. We're gonna put the y to 1. We don't want it to be like noised. We want it to be a single value that is 1 in y. And then we're gonna do x and z into turbulent things, so they go a little bit crazy. But so our vector is here. We're gonna multiply this by a random value, so random per pt num. So give us some randomness in the velocities, and we're gonna pipe that back to velocity. And now we have our popnet here. We're almost ready to start simulate. We're just gonna go in here. We're gonna add a ground plane just to get some collisions. In here in the pop source, we put emission type to all points. Put the birth tab, we put life expectancy 0.1 and life variance 0.3 to get some pretty big variance there, but that's cool. In the attributes, we put the inherited velocity by 2. We also want to put the initial velocity to add to inherited velocity, which means we're gonna do both the inherited velocity and some variance in here. So we put the variance to 111 just to get more variance in the velocities. And that's it. Now we can start to simulate and see what it looks like. So once the drop hits the ground, the splash is produced and it looks like this. Very simple, but it's kind of effective. So yeah. Then we're gonna use a copy, and we're gonna copy lines onto these just to get some geometry there so we can visualize it. Obviously, if you want to render this, you want to render it as a point because then you get the motion blur. Then we're gonna color that to green just for visualization purposes, and we're gonna have a look at what we have so far. We're gonna merge these two together, and voila, this is what we have so far. So boop, 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 boop. And in the next part, we are gonna create the ripples. So yeah, let's see about that.